So you're thinking about launching a SaaS company, but you don't have the luxury of big investors or endless resources. I've been there. Starting with limited funds can feel overwhelming, but here's the truth. You don't need millions to build a successful SaaS company. You can bootstrap it. My name's George, and if you're new here, I'm the co-founder of Wave, a SaaS company that helps businesses network through digital business cards. I started Wave without any outside funding, and we grew it by being smart with our resources, staying lean, and making the right moves at the right time. Today, I'm sharing the key strategies I use to bootstrap my SaaS company. Stick with me till the end and you'll learn how to stretch every single dollar and grow a business even when resources are tight. So the first thing you need to understand is that when you're bootstrapping, you can't afford to be everything to everybody. You have to focus, laser focus actually, on solving one core problem. It's tempting to try and do everything, but that's how you burn through resources quickly. Instead, focus on one feature that addresses a specific pain point for your target customer. Before you even start building, validate your idea. Talk to potential customers, send out surveys, and gauge the interest. I personally reached out to a few event organizers to ask if they could benefit from an instant business card exchange tool. And to be honest, that gave us immediate feedback and allowed us to refine our focus without spending money on development just yet. At Wave, our initial product only had one core feature: instant business card sharing at events. So it was just an easy way to exchange contact information. We didn't add more features until we nailed that single offering, and it helped us stay lean, test the waters, and gather early feedback. So here's a tip: write down all the potential features you want to build and then cut 80% of them. Keep the 20% that will provide the most value to your customer right now. That's where your focus should be. So instead of trying to solve a dozen problems at once, focus on one thing your audience truly needs and deliver it better than anybody else. In our case, that was instant business card sharing. That focus helped us build momentum and validate our idea with minimal resources. So once you've nailed down your focus, it's time to figure out how to build it without breaking the bank. Let's talk about outsourcing the right tasks. So here's where a lot of founders make mistakes. They either try to do everything themselves, or worse, they hire a full team too early. Both of these will drain your resources really fast. The trick is to outsource the right tasks while keeping the core of your product in-house. Start by breaking down the tasks that need to be done, then decide which ones are core to your business and which ones can be outsourced. For us, core tasks like back-end development and product strategy stayed with me and my co-founder. We then outsourced design and front-end tasks on platforms like Upwork or Fiverr. The key here is to maintain control over what makes your SaaS unique. I remember outsourcing some front-end design work early on for about like $500 a month. If I would have hired a full-time designer, that would have easily been 10 times the cost. And if I would have tried it myself, just the time it takes me to learn it would have honestly outweighed the benefits. Outsourcing helped us get the job done without the long-term commitment of hiring. When outsourcing, be clear on your deliverables and your deadlines. Find freelancers with great reviews and don't be afraid to spend the extra time upfront interviewing those candidates. The key here is to set the expectation and get really granular with exactly what you're looking for. I found that outsourcing helps stretch your budget, but to be honest with you, you can't rely on that alone. You need to have the right tools to manage the chaos without hiring a huge team, and that brings us to tools and automation. When you're bootstrapping, you need to make technology work for you. There are so many tools out there that let you manage a business with minimal resources. And the best part, many of them are free and offer affordable plans for startups. So make a list of all your repetitive tasks and see what you can automate. From onboarding a new customer to sending email follow-ups, there's probably an automation tool out there that can handle it for you. Tools like Zapier, ChatGPT, and ClickUp are lifesaver for startups. They can automate and simplify your workflows to save you countless hours. For example, we use Zapier to automate our lead collection. So every time somebody downloaded a resource from our site, Zapier would automatically add them to our CRM. That's just one example of how automation saved us time and, more importantly, money. Another example is I use ClickUp for task management, so storing all my copywriting scripts, LinkedIn posts, blogs. I also use it to keep track of tasks and deliverables of the freelancers we work with. If you can automate it, do it. Whether it's customer onboarding, email marketing, or lead magnets, automate as much as possible. Always look for free plans when testing tools. Most SaaS products offer free tiers with limited features, which are usually more than enough in the beginning. You don't need to start paying until your company is growing. Set up Slack or Microsoft Teams for communications, and ClickUp or Asana for task management. These are free and easy to scale as your team grows. Now, you might be thinking, what about marketing? How do I get my product out there without a big budget? When it comes to marketing, Without a budget, you've got to get creative. Content marketing and SEO are your best friend. They cost little to nothing, but can drive organic traffic if you play it right. Start by creating content that answers the exact questions your target audience is searching for. I remember writing blog posts about how to network at events and the best business card alternatives. That's just to name a few of hundreds. We optimized these articles for long-tail keywords, and over time, they started bringing in consistent organic traffic. Instead of spending thousands on ads, we focused on creating high-quality blog content that targeted specific niche keywords relevant to our audience. After 6 months, we were seeing organic traffic drive signups without spending $1 on paid marketing. To put it in perspective, we were booking an average of 150 demos a month. You have to start small with SEO. Use tools like Ubersuggest or Google Keyword Planner to find keywords that have low competition but high relevance. I've done a bunch of videos on this, so if you go scroll through them, you'll find me explaining the basics of SEO and how to get started. You need to write articles or make videos around terms that your customers are looking for, and gradually build your content library. If you want to get more fancy, get tools like Ahrefs or SEMrush. But to be honest with you, pick up a book called SEO 2024 by Adam Clark. Just read it, it's worth it. Also, don't underestimate the power of networking. I personally demoed Wave at small local events and student events across universities, which didn't cost much, but led to our first real customers. Also engage in online forums, communities where potential customers hang out. Facebook groups, Reddit, LinkedIn, those are all options for you. Now that your product is out in the world and gaining some traction, how do you decide when and where to invest the little money that you have? So let's talk about smart spending. Just because you're bootstrapping doesn't mean you'll never spend money. The key is spending it where it will have the biggest impact, and that's not always where you think it is. When deciding where to invest, focus on areas that will improve your product or customer experience. Don't get tempted by a beautiful website or fancy office space. It won't matter if your product doesn't deliver. When we first got started, our website was based on a template we purchased off Shopify for $200. It included all the assets like fonts, structures, pretty much everything to get you started. For our digital business card app, we put money into developing a clean, easy-to-use interface for our users and made sure the core functionality was rock solid before anything else, and didn't cost us much. We avoided unnecessary expenses like renting an office space, and we actually work from home, shared spaces, and mostly coffee shops. And now that I think about it, that saved us thousands of dollars, which we reinvested into refining our product, really nailing down that value proposition. Those small decisions helped us save money early on and gave us the runway to continue building. You have to ask yourself, will this expense help me acquire or retain customers? If not, it's probably not worth it. Here's something extremely important. Don't be afraid to bootstrap your personal life too. Like, cut back on personal expenses and keep your runway as long as possible. At the beginning, you are your business, right? So you kind of have to keep that lifeblood going, or else you might just lose it all. Every dollar you save personally extends that life of your business. Finally, let's talk about something that doesn't cost money but can open up a lot of doors: partnerships. Partnerships are one of the most underrated growth strategies when you're bootstrapping. You can tap into somebody else's audience and resources without spending a dime. Look for companies that serve a similar audience but aren't direct competitors. For example, we partnered with event organizers who promoted Wave to their attendees. They benefited from offering a new, useful tool to their audience, and we gained exposure to hundreds of potential customers without spending a dime. One of our best partnerships was with a conference organizer. In exchange for giving us a booth space, we gave their attendees free access to our digital business card, and it was a win-win for both of us. They got a more engaging event experience, and we got access to hundreds of potential customers, and it didn't cost us anything. So what you need to do is identify companies, influencers, or events that your target audience engages with and find ways to collaborate. Whether it's co-marketing, product integration, or event sponsorships, partnerships can help you grow without major costs upfront. So to wrap things up, here's a quick recap of how to bootstrap your SaaS company with minimal resources. Start small and stay focused. Stick to one key feature. Outsource tasks that aren't core to your product. Use free or low-cost tools and automate everything you can. Get scrappy with content marketing and SEO. Spend wisely and focus on what impacts customers first. And leverage partnerships to grow your audience. Bootstrapping is about making the most of what you've got and being smart with your resources. You don't need millions to succeed, you just need a clear plan and the drive to make it happen. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and yeah, as always, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.